Night Vision. Following clues left by our ancestors, we unbury the past to reveal a knowledge of unfathomable value, putting us just a little closer to our own true birthrights. From the secret history of a possible bloodline of Jesus Christ, the secret history of America's founders, to the secret history of extraterrestrial interaction on our planet, here to bring light to the night. Your host for Night Vision Radio, Renee Barnett.
Everyone, welcome to Night Vision. Thank you so much for spending a bit of your Friday evening or Saturday morning or whatever it might be to you. Wherever you might be. Got a great show planned tonight. In the spirit of the month of Halloween, I've been thinking a lot about true scary stories, and I have a guest tonight that is the master of storytelling when it comes to weird stories, because he runs the wonderful podcast and YouTube channel called Weird Darkness, also on Facebook and everywhere else that you can probably imagine. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to immediately welcome Darren Marlar to the show. Hey, Darren.
Renee, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. How are you today?
I'm well. And, so happy that you're here with us. And I do have one more person that I'd like to bring on with us as a very special cameo appearance, if you don't mind. And that is our very own.
Your show.
Bill Skywatcher. Hey, Bill.
It would help if I unmuted.
That could help. Yeah. Especially in light of the audio problems we were having before we actually went on air.
Well, I have to say, my initial conversations with Darren were amazing. It's an absolute pleasure to meet him now and actually see him on the other side. I can't tell you, from the initial conversation, how impressive and what kind of person he is. Very generous. I can't say enough about how helpful he's been to us here at KGRA. But speaking of that, he is going to be joining the KGRA family.
Yay!
Beginning in November 6th, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and it will be Monday through Friday. So we're going to be carrying his podcast, Weird Darkness, on KGRA. So I would like to welcome him on behalf of everyone here at KGRA, Digital Broadcasting, Renee, everyone.
Thank you.
Darren, really looking forward to having your show on KGRA.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm really excited to be working with you guys. From the conversations that we've had, I know that we've got an exciting future ahead of us. It's not just Weird Darkness, but there are a few other things on the back burner that we'll talk about on our own that people will learn about as the weeks and months go by. But yeah, I'm looking forward to just jumping in.
I'm wondering how many people right now that are listening are saying, I know that voice. Because that's what I did when we were on the phone that day. I was going,
I think we lost Renee. Did we lose Renee?
I know this guy.
But Darren, can you still hear us?
Renee.
Okay.
I can hear Bill.
Okay, I can still hear her. But
Renee, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, now I can hear her. All
I'm
right.
sure.
Lost her for a second.
You say that people might recognize the voice.
Yeah.
But he's also a very talented voice actor.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. He's got, I've already checked him out on IMDb. So he's genuine.
Yes.
He's the real deal. And we're very, very fortunate to have him on our team and so excited about it. And Bill, you know how I've been harping on, we need some true scary stories, just someone's storytelling, because that's what I listen to. You got the number one. I can't believe it. I was thinking, we'll just, find some stories and sit someone down and put them on the air. But we got the guy. So my goodness.
I wish I had an image of his, what is it, a truck or a car? It's a truck, right, Darren?
The SUV. Yeah, the Beast. Yeah. I should have sent you guys a picture of it before we got started here, but that's okay. I'll show it to you. You can show it on another show in the future or something.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's a 2019 Ford Expedition, and it is completely wrapped in weird darkness. So it's like you'll see a graveyard all the way around, bats flying, zombies walking in the distance, big giant zombie hand coming out of the ground. And in the back, I don't know if you were able to see it from the picture that you saw, but the back, like the hatchback, the hand is coming up, and it happens to be located just perfectly. So the license plate, it almost looks like it's holding the license plate.
Wow.
That says podcast.
Darren, before I split, do you, and this is a New York thing now. There used to be a show I won't reveal how old, decades ago, and it was called Chiller Theater, and it had a hand that came up, and it had 6 fingers, and it would get the letters and pick them apart. Chiller.
Oh, sweet.
So when you said that,
yeah, complete coincidence. But that's awesome. That's awesome. And now I kind of wish the hand coming up had 6 fingers now, because that actually would have been cool. I'll have to have the logo redesigned.
Didn't the original Evil Dead posters have a hand? I don't remember. There's a movie that has a hand in the poster.
It's used a lot for horror.
It is, right?
Yeah,
always coming up out of a grave or something.
Right. It's usually like almost looks like a photograph. I mean, it's so realistic. That's what I based our logo on. But then I went to an artist and said, "Look, I want the hand coming up, but I want to use that as the letter I in weird, and for darkness." And so we kind of worked on it and put it all together. That's the actual logo, is weird darkness, with the hand is the letter I. But that hand coming up, it's just you immediately know that it's something spooky and scary.
Yes.
We've been, our minds have been trained to see that.
You know what's crazy? Before I split, even in the original Exorcist, when she's raising her hands and it's so creepy. I'm getting the chills. Anyway.
Yeah. Hands are so expressive. Yeah, you could like this in surrender, or this to raise a question, or this in order to it just depends. The fingers are all. So
I'm saying goodbye. Have a great rest of the show. I'm looking forward to this creepy story. Don't even make me get nightmares tonight. Get out of here. I'm out of here.
Bill. Have a great show. Bye. I'm not even gonna. I'm just going to say, I hope you've got a brother-in-law or someone or a nephew that does custom car work, because I cannot imagine how much something like that would cost.
It was expensive. We got really crazy last year and decided, once I decided that this was going to be my full-time career, which was a couple of years ago, we immediately started thinking, okay, what do we need to do in order to make this work? And I was going around the nation so often to all of these horror expos and paranormal conventions and stuff like that to promote the show, going out there being essentially, I'm just a vendor. I'm buying a table and saying, here's my free stuff. Please listen to me. Please listen to me. But I was on the road for so long and nobody would know who I am. So we thought, well, it'd be kind of cool to have a billboard. Why not just make the car the billboard?
Rolling advertising.
Yeah, and we needed another car anyway, so it was just sort of the perfect timing to do that. And yeah, the wrap was a little expensive, but I think it's going to be worth it in the long run. We've only had it for about a year, and I've had people take pictures of me while I'm like at a rest area somewhere, and then they'll go to my website and say, "Hey, we saw you in like so and so Iowa, and now we're listening to your podcast." I'm thinking, mission accomplished. All right, that's exactly what we wanted.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good. And I got to ask, you said you had about a year. Does it still look the same? Is it pretty durable?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, we're much better off now than we were 2 years ago. Once COVID hit.
The wrap itself, does it last on the car like a paint?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We have to be careful not to mistreat it. I've made the mistake of opening the hatch inside the garage and it hit the ceiling, and so it ripped a little bit of the vinyl at the top. So I went and got it replaced, and then about a week later I did that again, And so I just, you know what? I'm just going to leave the rip now. It's just a tiny little rip. I don't care. But yeah, it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty solid. But yeah, there are certain things that you're not supposed to wash it in certain ways. You're not supposed to go into a brush wash, when you're getting your car washed. So you either do a really light spray wash, or if you can, get a hand wash from somewhere. Yeah. So, but other than that, it still looks great. Once I get it washed, it looks brand new. Yeah, vinyl wraps actually look really nice. I think they look better than paint.
I think I'm going to put in for an official KGRA van that has, our logo on it.
And that way, everywhere you drive, it's tax deductible.
That's right. Okay, I'm going to write that down.
See?
Dear Warren, please buy us.
Don't tell your accountant I gave you permission, because sure enough, I would be wrong on that.
It was Darren's suggestion.
Well, Darren told me to.
Yeah. So when we started talking a couple weeks ago, I was telling you about how I love scary stories. I think everybody does. I don't know what it is about that. But what is it that made you sort of choose that as a topic? Was it strictly because it had an audience? Is there something about it that draws you in, just the mystery of it all? Or?
I've always kind of been drawn to it. My birthday happens to be the day after Halloween. So every year when we were celebrating my birthday, I was just already surrounded by all of this imagery. And my grandpa, my mom's dad, his birthday is Halloween. So sometimes we would even celebrate together for parties. So it was this dark imagery always seems happy to me. It's just the way it is. So I think that's it. And because of that, those are where my strongest memories are, I believe. Some of my favorite memories and my longest memories, like the furthest back, are from Halloween. I remember my dad dressing me up as a werewolf one year, and we got really into it. And I was even kind of concerned that maybe the teachers at school would have an issue with it, because we actually had bullet holes in the shirt with blood coming down from the bullet holes. But he was like all into it. He said, "Oh yeah, Darren, this is going to be awesome." And sure, and now the werewolf is like my favorite cryptid of all time, just because of those memories. But my favorite memory, I think, of creepy stuff is I think I would have maybe been about 4 or 5 years old. And I was dressed up for trick-or-treating. We were out going house to house like you do. And we came to this house that was so scary. They had it done up so frighteningly well. And apparently one of the teenage boys that lived in the house dressed up as some sort of monster. I want to say werewolf. I don't remember. I just remember he was big and hairy. And he would run out to the kids and scare them. And I was one of the kids that he scared. And I was terrified. I ran back to my dad and he said, Dad, I'm not going to go over there. I'm not going to go over there. He said, Darren, you realize that he's probably more scared of you than you are of him. If you go up there and you growl at him and you give him your biggest roar, he'll probably run away scared. And that's exactly what I did. and he did. Never mind the fact that I was dressed as Mickey Mouse.
Oh my God.
but it still worked. And that was just one of my favorite memories. And now I just love the scares now. Some of the scares come my way. It's hard to scare me nowadays, actually. I think I've gotten so desensitized to it. So it's hard to find those scares. But
I can kind of see how Mickey, could be scary like that. That's not
to a werewolf. Yeah.
Mickey to do. It's like, when you see, a little child open their mouths and a deep voice comes out. There's something worse and more scary about that because it's something so totally wrong.
Well, please keep in mind, I was 4 years old. I did not have the voice that you hear now. So, yeah, if I had the voice now as Mickey Mouse at 4 years old, I think that probably would have scared the crap out of anybody.
But I know, we talked a little bit early on about some of your own experiences, which largely due to your faith, attribute more to religious experience or maybe less of a ghostly nature and more of a demonic nature. But I know that your father also had some experiences that you I haven't heard yet, but you were going to share. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm the one that's made the career out of narrating scary stories, but my dad is the one that ended up having all the experiences. I've only had two supernatural experiences. I'll separate them between paranormal and supernatural. Supernatural, I think, more of angels and demons rather than ghosts and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, mine, I think mine were more supernatural. But Dad, he had things happen to him right through to the end. For those who were just tuning in and have been listening to me for a while, I only gave out the news today that my dad passed away a few days ago. And we knew that it was coming, so it's not a sad event. I know where he is now. I know that he loved being in the Air Force, so I know he's and music, playing the clarinet. So I know he's up in heaven in the marching band playing the clarinet. So that's what he's doing. So I don't mind. Yeah, but so paranormal and supernatural will divide the two. But he had paranormal. When he was in the hospital, and he's been in the hospital several times, but he actually saw the angel of death. The whole Grim Reaper thing.
Oh, that's right. You did mention that.
Yeah. And it just stood there. It obviously didn't take him at that time. But he would see, for lack of better words, ghosts of others that have been in the hospital while he was there. Now, for a while, we thought he was hallucinating due to some of the medications he was on, because he had Parkinson's, and that one of the side effects is hallucinations. But they got that taken care of, and he was actually off of it for a while, and he still had some of these encounters. But what really convinces me that he had true, honest paranormal encounters, for lack of a better, I'm going to keep using the same word. Well before he ever started going downhill health-wise, when he was in his prime, there were a couple of things that happened to him. One of my favorites that he told me was he was having an issue with a gun. He was a hunter. That was just, his family loved hunting. And he had a gun, a rifle that he was trying to figure out. He couldn't get the bolt action to work for some reason. And he knew rifles. He like I said, he was in the military, so he knew what he was doing with rifles. But he just couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. And the gun happened to be a hand-me-down from his Uncle Al. And he went to bed one night, went to sleep, and his Uncle Al came to him in a dream and said, "Rich, this is what you're doing wrong. This is how you fix the gun." He woke up, went in, and sure enough, that's exactly what he needed to do. And the gun started working. His Uncle Al actually came to him in order to help him fix the rifle. Now, I would leave it at just that and say, okay, well, maybe his brain was working in the background and he just needed some time away from it. Sometimes, you say you need to get away from a problem for you to find the solution,
Yes.
that kind of thing. I see that. But he had other things that happened to him. We are convinced, myself included, even though I don't want to necessarily believe in ghosts as much as most people do, I'm convinced that the grandfather clock that is in my dad's house is haunted by my grandmother. And the reason I say that is it was a huge issue before she died. Who was going to get the grandfather clock? And everybody argued about it. The only person who didn't care was my dad. It's like, you know what? It's stuff. It's a thing. I don't care. I love you, Mom. So guess who got the grandfather clock?
He did.
Of course. After she passed away.
Harmonic.
Yeah. After she passed away, they were living in her house because they moved in order to take care of her in her final days. After she left, she came to visit Dad, and it was just a brief moment. He just knew it was her. I mean, she didn't say anything, but he could tell that there was a presence there, like sitting on the couch next to him. He could actually feel that presence. Well, they moved away from that house, and the only thing that they took with them that really did belong to my grandmother was the clock, and they moved to a whole completely different state. Moved in, got set, and sure enough, she shows up again. And so the only thing we can think of is that she is attached to that clock. It's the only thing that we can think of. And they have actually stopped resetting the clock. It's one of those pull chain grandfather clocks, so you don't have to wind it or anything. It uses the weights. they just stopped pulling him down. They just said, we'll just let the clock stop on its own, hoping that that would do away with the ghost. And apparently it didn't. She still visited. They moved back to another place, and again it happened. So now that my dad is gone, and it's just his wife that's there with the grandfather clock, I'm wondering what's going to happen. Is my dad going to attach to the clock? Is grandmother still going to attach to the clock? The person who's probably going to get the clock is me, and I'm not so sure I want it now. No, it's a gorgeous clock. I mean, it's a family heirloom. It should stay in the family somewhere. But it's something that I've actually spoken to my bride about. It's like, do you want this clock if it comes to us? Because last time we went to go visit Dad, we made sure that the SUV was completely empty because Robin was convinced they were going to try to give it to us and make us bring it back to Illinois. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we'll see what happens. And now that my dad's gone, I'm just waiting for him to show up. I've got things that he's given me.
His mom, right?
Pardon?
It was his mother.
Yes.
With the clock. Yeah, I wonder whether, she'll be done now that he's joined her, or whether
See, that's the thing. Was she doing that because she wanted to reach out to her son just to have connection with him? And if so, then yeah, they're together now. Right. So maybe her connection is broken, or there's a double connection on the clock now. Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. I won't know until I see the clock, or until I speak with his wife and say, hey, has anything weird happened since Dad's been gone? It'll be interesting to see what she says.
Yeah. Forgive me. I don't know if it was one of your stories, but I think it was. You'll probably recognize it right away if it was. It was a story about a haunted, dresser. And there was a slave.
A haunted chest?
Yeah,
I think it was, where it was created by a slave?
Yeah, it was created by a slave. And the slave owner, somehow it wasn't to his liking, and he beat the poor guy. And I don't know if he beat him to death, but I don't recall that. But the group,
I want to say that he didn't beat him to death, but the slave later died. He may have later died from his injuries, but before doing so, cursed the family.
Right.
I think.
His group, his family group, or whoever.
Yeah. So now wherever that chest goes, weird things, bad things happen. And so nobody wants to own the chest now. It's probably, I think it's in a museum somewhere now.
It is. It's now in that, one of those ghost hunter museums.
Yeah. You're asking me to remember stories from years ago. It's going to be hard for me to remember that one. But that one happened to catch it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was yours. But it was interesting because, wherever it would go, it would cause problems, and whoever's clothes would end up going into the dresser or the chest would end up.
Yes, that's right.
Or dying. Even babies, that they put their clothes.
Yeah, I do. Yes,
what was weird was, if the chest wasn't to the guy's liking so much that he had to beat the poor guy, then why did he keep it? Why did he keep it and hand it down to his family?
Because he was an evil slave owner, and it really wasn't anything about the quality. It was an excuse to beat his slave.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Because, you can see you had pictures of the chest, and it's a fine chest. I mean, it still looks good.
Well, I don't have a picture of it. But I just remember telling that story.
Oh, okay. Well, I've seen a picture of it somewhere, and
now if you were listening to my episode, I found a picture of a chest somewhere and put it on as the thumbnail, but it wasn't the chest.
This was after I listened to it. I went to the museum site where it sits. Right. I saw it in there. It, it's nice, but I wouldn't take a chance on putting it in my.
Yeah, it's nothing. If I remember correctly from the one that if it's the picture that I saw, it's really nothing to write home about. It's not gorgeous and, inlaid in gold or anything like that. It's just a wooden chest, functional.
Right.
Not ugly, but it's not like a family heirloom where you want to give a dowry with it or anything,
I mean, if it wasn't cursed, I would be happy to have it in my house.
Right.
But,
But if it
know.
is cursed, yeah, it's not so beautiful that you're willing to risk it.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, you had, told something about, these supernatural experiences that you thought were something like that, something demonic, or can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. There are a couple of incidents. Well, there are more than a couple, but there's a couple that won't take me long to share.
Take
And
your
one,
time.
I believe, is angel. One is demon. I'll give you
Wow.
the angel one now because.
Give us the good news first.
Ironically, though, it did happen at a paranormal conference. I was in Seaside, Oregon, at the Oregon Paranormal Conference, which takes place every year in April, I think. April. In fact, I'm one of the sponsors this year. I loved it so much while I was there last year that I decided to be a sponsor, and I'm going to go back this year. But and you can see, if you go to the road trip page at weirddarkness.com, you can see when that actual date is and everywhere else I'm planning on being. But
I'll also
but
be, thank you for bringing that up, because I'll also put that out in the KTRA newsletter.
okay,
So
yeah. Yeah, I'll drop you an email if you need if you need it. I'll let you know a little bit more about that.
absolutely, absolutely.
But after the conference, it was like a 3-day conference. We were all packing up, and they were kind because they liked the SUV, so they had me parked out in front with the lights flashing and everything, just for visibility. So I'm
Yeah.
packing everything up in the SUV, getting ready to leave, and there's a homeless man. And everybody, he seemed to be known by everybody because everybody was really friendly to him, and he was just talking. But you could tell that was his lifestyle. He's walking around carrying or dragging a wagon behind him with probably everything that he owns in the world. And I just felt drawn to him for some reason. So I went up to him. I said, "Do you have anywhere warm to stay tonight?" And I knew the answer would be no. So I said, "Well, I tell you what, here's $100. Go and find somewhere, to lay down." It was all I had on me. I opened up my wallet. I don't normally use cash. I use ATM cards and debit cards for everything.
Yeah, I never know.
So I opened the wallet. All I had was one single $100 bill. So I gave it to him. And of course, he's really thankful. He's, "Oh man, thank you so much. God bless you. Just find somewhere warm tonight. That's all I ask. Get a nice meal." I didn't tell him don't use it on alcohol or drugs because that's his business. Once I give something to somebody, whatever they do with it is their business. I've done my part. If God asks me to do something, I do it, and then it's on them. So, and that's the same as giving any gift to anybody. If you give them a gift, what they do with it is their own business at that point.
Right.
So anyway, I leave, go to the hotel, get a good night's sleep, jump on the road the next day. And it's a good 3-day trip from Seaside, Oregon to the Chicago area. So I'm a couple days on the road, decide to stop at a rest area to grab something to drink, pull out my wallet to get my debit card, and suddenly there is my $100
Don't tell me
bill.
that $100 bill was there.
It was in my wallet. Yeah.
Okay.
And I know that was the only bill in there because you're not going to give somebody $100 bill unless it's the only thing you have. And yet there it was again. So that
You
was
won't
just
believe this, but the exact same thing happened to me.
no way.
I swear to you. I was on a film shoot. We were shooting a Bigfoot documentary. We were down in the backwoods of Oklahoma, where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
So I was right at home. But we were way out in the woods at the little cabin of this old medicine man, this old Seminole medicine man named Kennedy Wise that we were interviewing about Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were taken out there by these other guys, these other Seminole guys. And, they said, okay, when you go there, you give a gift to him when you go.
Yeah.
And
okay.
they said, whatever you have, to give is fine.
You're just leaving it behind, right?
Yeah. And they said, and if you don't have anything to give, then just give your hand in friendship. But whatever you do, when you hand it to him, immediately remove your hands. Take your hands back. It's now his, and that was, so if they hand it and then remove your hands. And so we were on our way out there, and, it was at night and dark and everything. There wasn't much open. And I looked, and I had either $20 or $40 in my wallet. And that's it for cash. And so I thought, okay, I'll offer that, as a gift. Do whatever he wants with it. So I did that. I handed it to him. I took my hands back. We talked. There were some really interesting things going on around the campfire, very interesting and kind of unusual experiences. And I had left my purse in the back of the SUV, and it piled on top of it were all the camera equipment and stuff. So the next day, we were in Oklahoma City. Our shoot had finished. I was getting ready to return to LA, and my best girlfriend from childhood was a city councilwoman in Oklahoma City, and I called her up, and she says, "Oh, let me come and get you for lunch." I said, "Okay." I said, "We got to go by the ATM first, though, because I gave my last money to the medicine man." Get to the ATM, and I opened it up, and there it was. And I was like, "No way." I knew I didn't have any other money.
Right. So, and it would be different if you had a wallet full of cash and you just took out one and gave to him.
Yeah.
But when those are the only bills that you had in there, you looked for anything else, and that's all you could find.
Yeah.
And then for it to appear again later. That is amazing.
When you started telling it, I started getting chills, because I thought he's going to say that money was back in his wallet. Oh, that's so great. That's really interesting.
I really need to. I should have kept that $100 bill and framed it. I don't know what I was thinking that I used it again, but I should have kept that, because that's just proof there that the supernatural does. It is real.
Yeah.
Whether you want to put it up to angels, God, or karma, whatever you want to put it up to, something is making it happen.
Yeah, we often hear stories about, like an accident or something on the highway, and there'll be a person there that's of great assistance and, comfort, and then all of a sudden people look around and that person's just gone. Not from a car, not, they just vanished. And you would think that something like that would be of an angelic nature, because it just seems there to comfort and to be positive.
Yeah, when somebody like that just seems to come out of nowhere, even if it's a real person, I still think that it's guided by angels or God to be there, for that person to be there.
Right.
Like I remember getting a flat tire once, and I may look big and gruff. I am a complete wuss when it comes to anything manly. And so when I got a flat tire, I was like, I'm going to have to call AAA. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm calling my wife, telling her that I'm going to be late coming home. And about that time, these guys drive up behind me, two big, burly black guys. And they say, "Hey, looks like you need some help." Yes, I do. And we started talking, and they were talking about how much they loved God, and that God's putting them in certain situations to help people just like me. And then I realized, during the conversation, I find out that they're actually passing through. They need gas. They don't have money for gas. So I give them gas money, which they desperately needed. I get a tire on my car that I desperately needed. We go our own separate ways. I'm thinking, there's no way that wasn't God. There's just no way.
I know.
When stuff like that happens, and stuff like that happens a lot. We just moved into this house. We've been here now for about 20 years. But when we first moved in, it needed a lot of updating. It was built in the 70s and still had shag carpeting and everything. So we tore all of that out, decided we wanted to put in hardwood floors. And we made the mistake pulling out the carpeting before shopping for the floors.
Oh,
because we're idiots. So we go to the local Home Depot. We're looking around saying, okay, what are our options? And we realize it's all too expensive. We can't afford any of this stuff. And we don't know what we're going to do, because we don't want to go with carpet. And even the carpet they had was going to be more money than we had. And we did not want to go more into hock, more in debt,
for something you didn't want.
Right. Right. So we tell the lady, okay, we're going to go outside and we're going to pray about this and we'll figure something out. And on the way out, we pass by the front desk and they're giving away a grill. And it's going to be a random drawing. And so Robin decides, I'm going to go up there. I'm just going to go and put my name in. It's like, you're not going to win. Why are you doing that? Of course, you know exactly what's going to happen.
Of course.
But, so she fills it out. We go to the car. We pray for a couple of minutes. We think, all right, whatever. We'll go back in and we'll just tell her that we need more time to think about this. So we go back in. As we're walking in, the lady who next to the grill says, "Hey, are you Robin? Are you Robin Marlar? We just pulled your name." So we got the grill. We needed a new grill because we had just moved from Kansas City to Chicago, and our old grill was just a piece of crud. So we have a new grill.
We don't have.
It's a Clancy barbecue. That's right. We don't have a way to getting it home because we're in a small car. So we talked to them, said, "Can we rent one of your pickup trucks, to get it back to our house?" No, you can just borrow it. Wow. Okay. So we borrow the truck, take the grill back to our house, come back to drop off the truck. There in the front of the store, this couldn't have been maybe 35, 45 minutes. There in the front of the store, they have on discount clearance hardwood flooring, exactly what we were looking for, exactly the amount of footage that we needed. I mean, like down to we had maybe 12 square feet extra. We bought the whole thing. It fit in our budget. Where did this come from? We talked to the lady inside. We didn't see that. It's been there all day. No, it wasn't. That was not out there earlier. We would have seen it because we came here specifically looking for hardwood floors. We would have seen it coming in the door. If not the first time, then the second time when we were coming in to tell you that we needed more time to think about it. We would have seen it. And it was there on the third time going in that same day. So yeah, stuff like that happens.
That's amazing.
I love that story. I wasn't planning on telling it, but I'm glad I did.
Save that for last. So let's go to the dark side now.
Yeah.
Let's hear about that.
And a lot of people are going to dismiss this one, but there's a reason that I believe it's real. You know about sleep paralysis, I'm sure.
Yep.
So I've only had it really once in my life, twice, but only for an instant once before. And I knew why I had it then because I had been up for like 3 days straight and I was working at a radio station training somebody, and I just needed to close my eyes for 2 seconds, and I got locked into my office chair. I knew why that happened. Not locked locked to like paralyzed when I was in my chair, just resting. But a few years ago, I'm at home, just a normal day, and I'm in bed at night, and the sleep paralysis comes over me. I'd never truly experienced it before, so right then and there, I'm terrified. Since I'm not familiar with the feeling. And for those of you who are not familiar, I'm sorry?
Did you wake up with it or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did what made you notice it? I guess.
Well, the overwhelming sense of evil in the room.
Oh.
It was so encompassing. I woke up and I immediately knew that I was in the presence of evil. Of course, as sleep paralysis, if you don't know, you can't move. The only thing you can really move is your eyeballs. That's really, but because you can't talk, you can't scream for help, you can't move your arms, you can't roll over, you can't even do anything just to pull the sheets up of your head to hide. You can't do anything. It is true paralysis because that's what your brain does to your body to keep you from running in your dreams or acting out whatever it is that you're dreaming. That's why you go into paralysis. It's a natural thing. But when you're coming out of sleep and you're still paralyzed, that's the terrifying part. But the part that makes me feel that truly is paranormal is the sense of evil. It was a dark, it's really hard to explain, but people have talked about shadow figures, how they're darker than the actual dark in the room. Almost to blackness to the point of being nothingness, just infinity. Yes. And that's kind of what was in front of me. And I can't tell you that I really did see the eyes. I think maybe I just kind of remember their eyes being there. I think maybe I'm envisioning.
Was it a human shape or was it just?
It was more of a blob, almost a. Now that I think about it, Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
But it's sort of a tall cylinder
Was it
type of
sort of
thing.
articulating, or was it just
It was looming over me. It was slowly coming up and looming over me.
slowly? Oh God,
And
no, not the hand.
right, right. And in my faith, the only thing that I knew to do is to say, Jesus save me. That was the only thing I knew. And I was desperately calling it, although nothing was coming out of my mouth. But in my head, I'm yelling, Jesus save me, Jesus save me, Jesus save me. Somehow I was able to finally get out of my mouth. I think my body was slowly waking up enough that I could say something. And that's when it disappeared. I told that story on my podcast. I was inundated with emails from people saying, the same thing happened to me. This happened, this happened, this happened. And not only, in fact, I saw that Netflix has a documentary called The Nightmare, and it's about sleep paralysis. It was on Netflix when I saw it. It is the most terrifying movie I've ever seen in my life because it's something that I can relate to because I've been through it. But it's a documentary. It's not fiction. But all those people are saying they've felt the same thing. Some people say that it's more like an alien abduction situation.
Yes.
But so many, though, have the demonic situation, the demon over them, the sense of evil over them. And the only thing that stops it for so many of these people is asking God for help. They can say, go away, get out. You're not welcome here. And nothing happens. Nothing works until they say, God save me, Jesus save me. I've never heard somebody say, Allah save me or Buddha save me. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I've not heard those stories.
Right.
Because I think most of the people who are listening to me and they know my faith, they're getting in touch with me because they feel like that connection because they feel the same way. They have the same beliefs. So they're sending me their stories and it's the same way with them. So I'm seeing this connection that if there's this demonic entity that's visiting people in their sleep for whatever reason, and the only thing that seems to get rid of it is, mentioning the name of Christ, that's got to be an actual demonic presence. And it's never happened to me since. I of course immediately bless the house. You go around and you start. I'm not a priest, but I started making the cross everywhere. I'm not even Catholic anymore, but I started going everywhere. If I had a rosary, I would have gone through the entire thing that night.
Holy water.
That's right. That's right. I actually went online. I started looking into how to make holy water because I want to be ready for it next time.
Probably get some. I bet your Catholic priest would give you some.
There's actually ways of going about it. I've found a few articles, and I have been in contact with a apostolic priest. And she's actually given me some tools to go in through like an exorcism course. So I'm actually kind of interested in, because I feel that God might be preparing me for something that maybe I'm going to be in a situation where I need to know that.
Wow.
I don't want to be in that situation. I'm hoping I'm not in that situation, but I feel like maybe I need to prepare for it just in case. I just feel like something is on the agenda
It's
for
very
somebody.
reminiscent of the old incubus and succubus
Yes.
stories that people used to tell. I mean, obviously, this kind of thing has been going on throughout time.
Yeah.
People reporting it.
And it seems to change throughout the years too.
Did
People
you have
back then it was succubus and incubus,
No.
and now people get demons, but some people have the alien abduction experience. It's almost like what you've grown up with or kind of expect to happen ends up being what the demon uses in that situation.
Right. Speaking your language so it can get to you.
It knows what you fear most.
Yeah. That's really wild. Well, I've heard people say that in that experience, sometimes that it feels like there's something sitting on their chest, or like it's like a pressure, and they can't breathe quite as well. It restricts their airway somewhat. Did you have that sense?
I didn't have that, but a lot of the people that emailed me did. It's the old hag syndrome.
Yes.
And it actually does. It feels like there is a literal being on your chest squeezing the air out of you, which is probably compounded even more by the paralysis because you can't move in order to escape from that. And so the paralysis, I don't remember it feeling this way, but for a lot of people, it probably does feel like you're being pressed down because you can't move. But if you've got the demonic presence on top of you, adding that much more to it. So I'm not saying that sleep paralysis is always paranormal. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is it can be used by the enemy. I think that's what happens. And so, yeah, those instances where it's the succubus or the incubus, if it's that pressing down, the old hag syndrome, demon, whatever entity it happens to be.
So do you feel like then it's more a crime of opportunity, or is there something that this dark force, dark energy, whatever it is able to do to you to make you paralyzed temporarily? Do you think it's coming from them, or they're just using it? Because
that is a good question. That's never been presented to me before. I would definitely agree if you had said, do they take the opportunity, take advantage of the situation? I would definitely have agreed with that.
Right.
Whether or not they trigger it is or if they're able to trigger it, that I don't know. So that would probably be, now you're getting to definitions of possession, or if they're not possessing you, then they're oppressing you.
Right.
So they're not inhabiting your body, but they are
exactly
working on you. That's where the oppression is. So I guess I could see that. It could happen that way, especially if they know that you're susceptible to it. So I could definitely see that. I had something that I wanted to say on that too, and now for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. But you had just triggered you just triggered something in me that I wanted to bring up about the sleep paralysis and that particular situation. What did you say?
Oh my goodness!
What did you say?
Don't ask me what I said. I have no idea.
Do they trigger it?
Is it?
Okay. I think you had asked, is there a reason for the timing of it? I think is what you had said. If not, then that's just what popped into my head. One of the reasons that I think it happened to me when it happened to me is Weird Darkness was starting to take off. I was actually, it's weird that I'm in this particular career, because for 30 plus years, I worked in Christian radio nonstop. And for a while, I worked in Christian radio and did Weird Darkness at the same time. I was stepping away from Christian radio doing this. But at the time, I also started to be more open about my faith inside the podcast. I was never really open about it within the podcast because I knew it would turn a lot of people away. But I started just once in a while saying, well, you know what? You asked my opinion. Here's my opinion. And once in a while, I'd even do something called Church of the Undead, which is sort of like a Sunday sermon type of thing. I was doing it in the podcast. It's separate now because it just didn't really fit.
Right.
But at the time, I was just telling people about God more than anything else, or at least my own opinions. And I think I was seen as a threat. And so that was the enemy's way, Satan's way, for lack of better words, of saying, I don't like you doing this. I don't like you telling people about me. I don't want you giving people the truth. You could tell them about the paranormal and everything else. I want them involved in that, but I don't want you telling them about angels and God and how to get saved and all that other stuff. And I think maybe that was all I can say is the timing that's when it happened.
Right.
It's about the time I started being more open. So
it's weird because and maybe you can shed some light on this, or at least give me your opinion. But okay, you hear that Satan will go after you when you're doing something right, when it wants to stop you from doing what you're doing.
Uh-huh.
So in some ways, doing the right thing, it doesn't necessarily make you vulnerable, but it might make you draw some sort of
absolutely
backlash. On the other side,
if you're trying to live your life as close to God as you can, as godly as you can, if you're not getting some sort of resistance, then you're not being very effective.
But then on the other hand, you hear that if you're doing bad things, if you're indulging yourself in life's baser habits and addiction and being drunk and all that, that makes you very vulnerable to attack. So it's almost like one extreme to the other.
It's almost like a two-faced hypocritical type of thing to even have that have that opinion. I know, and that's always thrown me. One
but
of
I
my
guess
favorite
what
books.
you might say is that evil is just lurking and looking for any.
Well, as the Bible says, Satan is prowling around as a lion wanting to consume you. So I don't think he cares what the situation is. He'll take advantage whenever whenever the opportunity arises. You just got to be on your guard all the time. But yeah, I've always wondered about that. It's like if somebody is doing something evil, let's say they are sacrificing somebody to the dead. They're out there doing satanic rituals or whatever. I don't know. Why would Satan bother them? Because wouldn't he have them exactly where he wants them then? Right.
So maybe he already has bothered them. Maybe that's what.
Maybe so. I've had conversations with atheists and even Satanists, and none of them seem to be bothered too much by Satan. Well, I know because Satanists don't really worship Satan, so I'm sure a lot of people listening to you know that he's just a symbol of living whatever life they want to live. That's what it is. It's sort of a freedom type of thing. But yeah, none of them have ever given me any stories like the ones that I say about the sleep paralysis or anything like that. So I don't know, it's interesting to talk to them though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love to talk to people with differing views.
I was in Plattsburgh, New York. I can't remember I want to say his name was Daryl, but he was from the Church of Satan. For some reason, they decided to put us right next to each other with booths right next to each other at the conference. And so here I am, this born-again Christian telling paranormal stories, and here's this guy over here from the Church of Satan who doesn't believe in God at all. And I'm telling you, we gave each other crap the whole weekend and had a blast.
In God. He probably doesn't believe in the paranormal or the supernatural either, which is funny.
Yeah, it's
Christian guy that's doing.
He asked me, "Hey, you guys, you want to go out drinking with us tonight?" I said, "What? Hang out with you heathens? I don't think so." And that was his response too. There, laughing about it. We just had a great old time. And I think he's got a podcast that he wants to have me on sometime as well. It's just good conversation to talk with people who have different viewpoints.
Oh,
so
it is.
I know I'm very open about my faith, but I get emails and stories from people who are pagan, Wiccan, whatever, and I tell their stories too, because they're all interesting. It's all entertaining, whether or not you necessarily believe every word of it. And I believe people unless I have reason not to, if that makes any sense.
Right.
So unless you give me reason.
Yeah, I think, we all should listen to each other and hear her ideas. I mean, I was raised, Southern Baptist, but I don't really hold to that anymore.
You escaped.
I escaped it, and I feel like it's the organizations that have kind of messed things up a little bit.
Oh boy, are you right? Faith. You are so right. Oh yeah, the denominations are, it's denomination. It sounds like divide, and that's what they do. They divide people. Jesus didn't have here's my church. It's not Catholic or Baptist or Nazarene or whatever.
If
it's just follow me.
Would have been Jewish, at the time.
Well, he was Jewish. I know, right? It's like, I'll never be Jewish. It's like, Jesus was a Jew, but it's man that decided to make their own rules and say, yes, you got to believe in this, but we also think you need to do this too. And so now we're going to create our own denomination over here, and this is the way you need to live. Well, those are man-made rules. That's got nothing to do with actual God and what he wants for your life. So those are all secondary issues. You can argue them all day long if you want to. It doesn't really matter. Do you have to get baptized in the water, or can you be sprinkled with the water? Or do you have to actually go to an actual river to get baptized? Seriously? That's the stuff you guys are going to argue about? Well, you can't have drums in your music. What? Serious? No guitar. David played the lyre. What do you want? So, but it's all man-made rules. So long as you believe in Jesus, that he died on the cross, rose again from the grave, for your sins, and that's it. That's all you need to know. If you believe that, you're good to go. Everything else is just man-made nonsense.
It is. And unfortunately, I think it's turned a lot of people away.
It has.
Then brought them forward. But anyhow, before we get too far down the road here, I wanted to mention a couple things. First of all, Weird Darkness coming up November the 6th. What did we say? That would be 7 a.m. my time, so 10 a.m. Eastern time and 9 a.m. Central time. So be sure and look for that. And we're also going to be able to, I think, hear him around at some other times too. But certainly, that's the every morning live broadcast. I'm going to.
I was told we might get a few repeat broadcasts throughout the week, maybe sometimes in the evenings or something like that. But
I'm going to complain if I can't hear it at nighttime. Nighttime is the right time for the scary stories.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Bill right there. Oh, of course,
Yes,
of course, he's eavesdropping.
Bill, let me remind everybody to become a member of KGRADB. Just go to live.kgrab.com. And for the monthly memberships, please use the code VISION. For annual memberships, Vision 22. So, and also, if you just want to sign up for the newsletter, do that, because every month we put out a newsletter with stories, with activities, events, and things that are coming up. So you don't have to be a member to get the newsletter.
In fact, Bill asked me to maybe even submit an article for the newsletter. So, yeah, that'll be fun.
Thank you, Bill.
Do I have to subscribe? Do I have to subscribe to live.kgradb.com to listen to my own show?
I think you should. But no, I'm just kidding. I think Bill's gonna take care of it.
Bill's going to say, yes, you did. Yes, you have to, Darren.
Bill's gonna say yes, and we're going to charge you double.
That's right.
I will make sure you get it. I'll sort that out by the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
all
gosh,
right.
I'd love to have you put an article in the newsletter. I'm the editor, so just get hold of me.
Oh, okay. I wondered what that response was for. Okay, well, that makes sense.
Oh,
then.
yeah. I have the newsletter every single month, so
I promise not to get religious on you. I promise.
Well,
we got a lot more religious tonight than I normally did on the podcast. Normally, it's like I give a Bible verse at the end, and that's it. The whole rest of the hour is nothing but creepy stories. But we really got into it tonight for some reason.
I like to let people be for real,
Yeah.
and all that. But it looks like we're running over time. I want to thank you again,
yes.
Darren Marlar, and thank you, Bill, and thank you everyone for watching and listening. We'll see you next week.
Thank you very much.
Bye.